Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webcast, where you'll get hands-on experience using the copy design functionality in Autodesk Vault Professional 2020. And today with us from ASCENT, we have Barb Nash. So Barb, I'm happy to hand things over to you now.
Okay, thank you, Corrine, and hello, everyone. Again, I'm Barb Nash, and I'll be guiding you through this example, the simulated exercise, and just with reference to our books, the copy design functionality is referenced in these two top books here, the Vault Professional for Inventor users and Vault Professional for AutoCAD users. And I've also got the reference here. We do a lot of custom work for companies who want to show their custom processes, whether it be with engineering change management processes or basically anything, anything that's custom that you want your learners to learn. And with the software simulations, we're finding that people are really valuing them because they can repeat the process over and over again. So you're not dependent on a database. You don't need even the software, the Vault software, or the Inventor software. So it can be very useful from a training perspective. So without further ado, I'll just continue on here. And what you were sent already was what you can expect to learn. So creating a new design using copy design, differentiate between the different copy design options, and then identify what's new in Vault Professional 2020. So some of you may be familiar with the old functionality, so this will show you what's new. Some of you may just be interested in learning about copy design without having to install it. So again, this is for you. And kind of what I've already touched on, so anyone interested in learning from an Inventor or AutoCAD user's perspective. And also you'll be seeing this interactive e-learning option of software simulations. All right, so you may be wondering, what is copy design? So just to preface it by saying that the copy design is a very powerful command which enables you to copy an entire design, including all those related files, parts, drawings, subassemblies, and attachments. And of course, they maintain their relationships to the new design. And we'll be seeing hands-on here the various copy design actions that include the copying, the reusing, and replacing one part with another, for example, or excluding specified files. So the first example is the Inventor example. And we have here, and don't be too concerned about really being able to see it, but we have a before and an after. So we've got the existing design here and our resulting copied design over on the right. So we have a few things we're copying. So the assembly, the top level assembly, and calling it a different name, as well as one of its parts and a subassembly. And then as for the handle ball, we're going to be replacing that with a larger handle ball. So that's what you'll be seeing here. And if I expand what we'll be seeing, you can think of these as steps, really. So we're initiating the copy design. I'll be going through an orientation to the interface because it's new, very much new in 2020. We'll go through that, and then getting into the options. We can add additional files, and then setting those actions of copy, replace, and then we'll do our check. So this is the ending process where before we pick that execute copy, we review the folders, the numbering, and the actions before doing that execute copy. And then we'll just check it all in our destination folder. So those are really the standard steps for a copy design operation. Okay, so copy design. This I should preface also by saying this is the interface of copy design in Vault Workgroup and Vault Professional. So Vault Basic has a different interface. So if you have that, then you'll notice that if you do launch it, it will look different than this one that you'll be seeing. So there have definitely been major significant changes to the copy design user interface in 2020, as well as the workflow as a result. And as well, there are new enhancements, and a majority of those are based on users' submissions to the Vault Ideas database. and I'll be highlighting those. And so to initiate copy design, we take a look here, and it's telling me what to do. So with these software simulations, you can either set them up with more guidance or less guidance. For this purpose, I'm going to keep on the guidance, and so we just do what it says. So I'm going to right-click that top-level vise assembly and select Copy Design. And the Copy Design window opens. So for those who are used to 2019, you'll notice definitely a difference. So the one big thing is that the Copy Design dialog or window is nodeless, which means you can still operate in the Vault client and do some operations there at the same time as working within this Copy Design window. And so it gives you really some great flexibility to figure out, okay, what do I want to copy? You can add more than one design if you want, and just keep on adding to it, and then set up your options and then execute. So the three main sections are shown there in green. So we've got the menu and toolbars. So the file, view, actions, options, help menus, and then we've got the toolbars that relate to those commands that are in the menus. There's the main grid here, the main view, and the navigation panel, which for the most part is the same as 2019. Just to highlight which panels are which here, so we'll be doing the various operations, but you may not see what I'm selecting and wonder which is which, but yeah, where used, folders, the numbering, as well as the actions. And for those who want the side-by-side look of the comparison between 2019 and 2020, we've got this toolbar in 2019. So it's not with the menus, the file, view, actions menus. And definitely, and again, it's based on the ideas that have been submitted. They wanted more of a user-friendly, maybe a little more intuitive type interface. And so that's what we have now. Okay, so starting with some orientation to the interface, I'm going to pick this view menu, which really controls the areas of the display, such as the panel and the main view. So again, main view over here, and then the panels over here. I should mention that you can orient the panels however you want. You can drag and drop them to be side by side, but I've just left it as the default where we have these tabs to control the display of each panel. If we wanted to remove a panel, we can do so by picking panels, and if we wanted to remove the actions panel, we just simply pick it, take off the check mark there, and it's gone. So there's no tab there. Now this functionality was in 2019, but because there's now a menu, the workflow has changed. So if you're looking for it, it's under View. And if we want to show it, we want to put that check mark back in, we just simply click it again, and it's back. So I'm just going to follow these prompts. Again, this is what you'll be receiving from us. This is a software simulation. You'll be able to hands-on go through these exact steps. And now let's take a look at the layout menu. So the layout menu controls the look at the main view, and note that list view and folder view are new to 2020. So you may be used to the tree view. Let's pick the folder view. You can see that it's oriented in this manner. So it's just a personal preference as well. There's different functionality that you can have in different views. And I'll note that as we go along. So that's the folder view. And we go over to the list view, where it's just simply in column format, very much similar to the Vault client view. And a big note is if you're used to working with a lot of filtering, you're liking that type of functionality, this also allows for you to set the filters. And you may recall the filter little icon shows up, and you can just either make things disappear as you want with filters, or display what you want with filters. Okay, now we go to tree view. The tree view displays, and in 2020, the drawings are now visible in the documentation folder in the tree view. Again, Vault Ideas Submission, so all the drawings now show nicely together in this documentation folder. But to display this, you need to go to View, Show Drawing View. And we expand this now appearing documentation folder, and in it is the one drawing that is related to the vise assembly. And note that it can only be viewed in the tree view. So if this is important to you, you'll definitely want to be viewing the main view as a tree view layout. Maybe I'll just mention here, if we wanted to go back, we can either use these controls backward or forward, or we can navigate with the left sidebar. So again, when you guys have this hands-on, you can basically click wherever you want to see how it all works. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the related attachments and library files. We pick View, Show Children, and we've got the attachments and library files. So again, if you want those shown, you click whatever you want there. And it was some functionality that was in 2019, but again, that workflow has changed. So if you're looking for those options, they're under View. Okay, Find and Replace can be found also under the View menu. So let's pick Find and Replace. So in 2020, you can perform the option in the main panel now, whereas before you couldn't, or the numbering panel as you were used to before. So again, some great functionality for doing what you want, changing the names of things for that new design. And you'll also find those in the toolbar. Okay, the layout views can also be found also in the toolbar. So if we click there, those same three view options are shown. So very, very handy. And now onto the Actions menu. Actually, before I go on, I didn't have this, but under the File menu, there is an Export option. So again, new functionality for those that are looking for that, which can be very helpful. It outputs into a nice spreadsheet type format. Actions, here we have all our actions. I've mentioned the ones like copy and reuse and exclude and replace. These are also in the right-click menu, but I just thought I'd mention that they're also found in Actions. We'll also touch on some of these new ones as well. Okay, so as for options, we have some ones that you're probably used to, but in 2020, you can now remove the BOM object as well. You can remove all attachments if you want. Okay, and we'll take a look at the numbering scheme and action menu as well. So numbering schemes, this corporate numbering scheme is something that was set up in advance. So you create your numbering scheme like you're used to in advance, and through the copy design operation, you can select one of those schemes or more to be used when needed. So the resulting design would then use that new numbering scheme. So it's just a little different with the way the workflow works now. And action rules, very powerful functionality. Again, you can either set them here or through the actual panel. And if no rule set is selected, the target file receives the same file properties and settings as the source file. And add files, if we wanted to add more files to the copy design dialog, we would pick add files there. In this example, we're going to just cancel. But again, you can put multiple copy design operations in your one dialog and just execute once and just let it run, and it's not tying up your Vault client because now it's nodeless, so you can keep on doing what you're doing back in Vault client as the copy design operation executes. Okay, so with our example here, we will copy these through files. So similar to that visual showing the actual vise assembly, we've got the vise assembly for copy, the subassembly to copy, replace for the handleball, and the copy of the base part. Okay, so we just continue on. So we pick copy for the vise assembly, okay, just so that we can see that drawing. You can see that it's automatically set to auto, which means it too will be copied for this copy design operation. Right-click the base, I select copy, right-click the subassembly, select copy, so we have our actions all set there. If we expand out the subassembly, we see that the subassembly files are not copied as desired in this case. You could, of course, highlight them and copy, but we will not. And then this copy branch 2, this is a new option for 2020, and it enables you to copy a complete branch to a specified folder, maintaining the original folder structure. So we could have copied this entire subassembly to a specific folder, basically all at once with this copy branch 2 option. Okay, and now we'll do our replace operation. So we've done our copy, now we do our replace. Just going to do what it tells me to do, double click the designs folder. I'm trying to find this handlebar large, and there it is. And I just pick replace. And we see that it's set to replace. Okay, now we're on to the review step, I'll call it. So we're reviewing the folders. So I pick the folders panel or tab there. I expand here, and by default, the files get copied into the same folder as the source files. In this case, we chose to do it that way. You could have done the copy to operation to do it right away, but in this case, we're going to do it like this. So select the copy, use Control, and copy all those at the same time, or select all those at the same time. Right-click and pick Copy To. And we're going to make a new folder, call it Vise 2, and I'm just typing all this as it's prompting me to, and a new folder gets created. And here we have the copied files in the Vise 2 folder. We see the destination path is also set to Vise 2, and the big thing, I guess, in 2020 that affects this type of functionality is that you can enter also or edit the values in the destination path as well. So there's a couple of different options, as usually is the case, to do what you want to do. And so you might prefer doing it like that instead of using the copy to like I did. And now onto the reviewing of the numbering panel. We right-click in the background. And for this numbering, instead of the copy of, let's say we want no prefix, but we do want a suffix with the number 2. So we pick prefix. We just simply pick OK, and it will take that as a blank value. Then we right-click, select Set Values, select Suffix, and we're typing in, oops, I'm clicking on it first and then entering 2. And you'll notice before I scroll that the drawing is also set up to be with that suffix of 2. And the suffix there is 2, just to see it visually there. And now for the last review process, we pick Actions. I can click Copy, take a look, and just make sure that everything is going to be copied as I want and with the correct name. and we pick reuse, and by default, the reuse operation is used. So yes, these are all the ones that are blank, basically. These are the ones to be reused. And replace, yep, we have one only part that needs to be replaced, the handle ball with the handle ball large. So I could go back to the drawing just to make sure that I've covered everything before picking execute copy. Not that you can't get back to what you want to after you pick execute copy, but I would suggest for sure making sure that everything is set up properly before executing. So let's pick execute, and it was done as quick as a flash there, and you can see that the check marks are showing that it was successful. And now in 2020, after the copy operation, you can open the source file or folder, or the destination folder. And so we do that by right-clicking, picking Go To, and selecting, in this case, we want to see the destination folder. And we can take a look at our copy design. So we have now a Vice 2 that is called Vice 2. Base is now called Base 2 in the new design, and the screw sub is called Screw Sub 2. And I don't have the handle showing, but anyway, the handle is also in there, the large handle ball. So that is the Inventor example. All right, so this is the copy design using an AutoCAD example. So we have a before and an after, and there is an X reference of all the lighting, but you'll see that it is in both. So the before design and the after will contain it. However, the difference between them, I just have used a simple example where one has a Rand Worldwide logo, one has an ASCENT logo. So we're replacing the logos. Okay, this is the for design name, so the first arch-M drawing. And just like before, I just pick copy design. I'm just thinking, so copy design, I'm doing the right-click method. It's also available, did I mention it here? Maybe not, outside too. So you could launch the copy design in its own standalone application as well from the Start menu. But it's pretty convenient to do it from Vault Client. And so that's how I've done it. Another 2020 enhancement is that you can remove the node and all children using this clear root node. So this is just functionality of copy design. It can be used with Inventor designs, any designs basically. And I just wanted to show it here because we had done that Vice 2 copy and it still is showing there. So to clean things up, you will probably be doing this quite a bit. So we right-click, select Clear Node, and you'll see that it removed the Vice 2, that whole design. So now we just want to do the one operation, this one AutoCAD example. So similar to before, we're going to right-click, and here in this example, we're going to pick Copy To right from the start. So we want to, for the new design, we want to copy it to a new folder. So we're going to create a new folder again and call it AutoCAD 2. Click OK. And I guess I clicked quickly there. We could go back and just make sure, but yeah, you can see that the new folder was added. And now we've got one copy and we're going to have one replace. And that other XREF there for the lighting is just going to be reused. So here, replace, and we're finding the logo under our XREF libraries, pick replace, and now we're already, oh, that's right, I can just minimize this. Moving on to our folders tab. For the reviewing of the folders panel, We want to just make sure everything's in there as we want. Yep, looks good. So again, this is just our check process before we pick execute copy, and we pick numbering tab for the next. And similar to before, we're going to do the same with the prefix of nothing and then the suffix of _2 in this case. Do what it tells me to do. And suffix, those of you used to 2019 and earlier may recall the postfix verbiage. So anyway, we have suffix now. And I'm here in this example, just entering it directly in this area. In this case, there was only one file. We can just simply quickly enter it, and then that's done. And so we can see it update here. And now we pick the Actions tab. And again, just make sure that we have everything that we wanted to have happen. So we've got the one reuse, one replace. Yep, the ASCENT logo is going to be used instead of the RAND Worldwide logo. And now we pick Execute Copy. Again, it's denoted that it's been successful with these check marks. And again, I want to just check that destination folder. And I'm going to actually open the drawing here. I'll check it out. In this case, the logo does need to be reloaded. And so I'm going to check that back in. So this was a simple case of just one thing changing in the new design. But even though you have to do this step in this example, it can, as you can imagine, save a lot of time if there's a number of references. And we'll check it in. And it prompts me to save. I could have saved earlier. And now if we go into the Vault client, we can see that the ASCENT logo is there now. So that's the AutoCAD example. So copy design using an AutoCAD example. For those who may have joined later, access to this simulation, which involves both an Inventor example and an AutoCAD example, will be available to you, and you'll see the follow-up email with the link to it. And so all it needs is a browser, no installation of anything required. Just make sure you have your browser handy, and I think that's it. And yeah, you can repeat it as many times as you like, and it doesn't require any database.
And what can we offer customers as far as these e-learning options that you've shown us here, that we're giving them this simulation to go through and try, but how do you help them with something similar or an issue they might have?
All right, so I've shown a copy design example. So it could be, though, any process that you feel requires that extra training for learners. It could be, and what we've seen is that the engineering change management processes within Vault, changing the categories, changing the lifecycle states, all that there's some value in learners repeating that before going live and before affecting the database. Sometimes it's due to permissions. You don't want, a bunch of extra things that the users can't delete to be in the database. But there's, a lot of reasons. And really, I guess the goal usually is just to make sure your learners are ready for either go live or just ready for a new process before going live with that process, so it's able to be repeated and repeated. So yeah, those are a couple examples. Yeah.
And those are things that this is what Barb does for, in Aware, right? You focus quite a bit on that and creating these very kind of unique and custom e-learning simulations for people in this situation,
right,
who require this, right?
Exactly. Sometimes they can be like standalone. So here I've shown a copy design example standalone, but they can be also bundled into an actual e-learning course that you may have on your learning management system. So We can either, just send you what you need, like in the SCORM package to add to one of your existing courses, or we could also create a whole course. We've done that for Vault, which includes things like quiz questions or knowledge checks, videos. So we could easily generate a video from a simulation so that you have like a watchable type video that then relates to the simulation that you're then asking a learner to go through. So so it can just be a component of a big e-learning, not big, but e-learning module for a specific topic. We like to keep our things modular, and short, as learners seem to like.
Right. Exactly. Okay, perfect. I just wanted everyone to be clear because I know so many people think of us as the book people, which is great. We write learning guides, for Autodesk, but we do much more than that as well. This is just our contact information here. We wanted to make sure that everyone has access to this. So, the learning guides, if you're interested in purchasing those, you can do that directly through our ASCENT eStore or go to our website, which is I think the last link there, ascented.com. Obviously, for things more specific, like these simulations and e-learning, you'd want to contact us directly to discuss your needs, and we could do that with you. And reaching us is by phone number there. We have a toll-free number, or emailing us. feedback@ascented.com is one of the easiest ways, I think, to remember our email address is to send a note there. I get that directly, as do other members in our team, and we'll make sure that your questions are answered by the right person. We also are on social media, so you can follow us there on Twitter. We need to add in here LinkedIn because we're on there, of course, as well. If you have other ideas you'd like to hear from us in regards to a webcast topic, please do also send that info along to us because, we do these so that you can benefit from them, and we've got some great resources here. So I will volunteer Barb to do another webcast sometime if you send us some good topics and things that you'd like to see. So thanks, everyone, and we'll talk to you all later, okay? Have a great day. Bye-bye.